Okay, we have a full body workout with dumbbells. You need a heavy set and a lighter set. Come to the back of your mat, side bend to the right, and side bend to the left. And now we're going to come to the middle and then forward fold. You can just walk it out, bending one knee, then the other. And then walk it out to a plank, and we're going to drop to our knees. Bring your right hand behind your head, and you're just going to open up to the right side of the room. Lower and then switch sides. Now we're going to move into a really slow cat-cow. Going to really tuck the pelvis under, and then slowly roll, pushing the floor away, tucking your chin, and now we're going to just reverse it. Tailbone in the sky, drop your belly, drop your chest, lift your chin. Do that one more time, really slowly, thinking about just articulating the spine. And this next time, do the same thing, but just move a little bit quicker. Okay, get ready. We're going to push back to a down dog. And step your right foot forward and drop your left knee. We're going to come into a low lunge. Tucking your pelvis under. You have the option to grab that back foot, getting a deeper quad stretch. Now drop it and straighten the front leg into a half split. Come back to that low lunge, and this next time you are going to lift that knee up and straighten the front leg into this pyramid pose, and you're going to lift your right hand to the sky. Really getting to the outside of that leg, and now bend that front leg. And you're just going to reach under like you're reaching for your knee. You may touch it, you may not. You may just tap your thigh. We're going to do this a few times. Okay, place that hand down, move back to a down dog, and we're just going to do that on the other side. So step that left foot through, drop that back knee, option to grab your toes. Straighten the front leg into a half split. And then back to the low lunge. You're going to lift that back knee, straighten the front leg. Leave that right hand on the ground as you lift the left arm. Feel that stretch your IT band, your TFL. Now bend that front leg, and now you're just going to reach through. Just thread your arm through, reaching towards your knee. Do it a couple more times. Place that hand down and step back to the down dog. Walk it all the way back and just come into a primal squat and rock side to side. Place your hands under your toes, and you're going to straighten your legs as much as you can. They may not come all the way straight, but just do as much as your flexibility will allow. Just really trying to warm up here, trying to get into those quads and hamstrings. Now let's roll it up and let's get ready for our first exercise. So grab your heavy weights. We're going to start with a Romanian deadlift. So this is a hip hinge. So you're just hinging at the hip, and you have a slight bend in your knee, and you want to pretend like you're trying to shut a door behind you with your glutes. So push your hips back as far as you can, getting as much length in your glutes as you can. And that's as far as you go. Stop when you can no longer push your hips back. Okay, now we're going to move into a squat. So I'm in a front squat position, bringing the dumbbells up. You can leave them by your side like a suitcase squat. If you're somebody with really long femur bones, you might find that the front squat helps you to stay more upright. So you want to make sure that your foot is like a tripod. The weight is distributed between your heel and your big toe mound and little toe mound. Now let's put them together. We're going to do the RDL and then squat. So inhale as you lower, keeping those weights really close to your body. And then inhale as you lower for the squat, exhale up. So pushing your hips back. And now squatting. Okay, last one. Now you're going to set the weights down briefly and move into a primal squat. Rocking side to side, keeping your heels on the ground. If you need a little more stretch, you can use a weight on your knee to help push your knee forward. And I'm going to put my forearms down here, getting a little more stretch, opening up my hips, getting more into my calves. Okay, it's time to do it again. Back to the RDL. I'm going to do it at a different angle here. So inhale up, lower, exhale as you lift. So while you do squeeze your glutes to come up, do not squeeze them at the top. When you get to the top, don't hyperextend, pressing your hips forward. So you're keeping a neutral spine. Head is an extension of your spine. Okay, now we move into that squat. So inhale as you lower, exhale, lift. As you exhale, you want to engage your core, starting from your pelvic floor, just all the way up through lower, middle, upper, transverse abdominis. Knees should be tracking over your toes. Like I said, the weight should be distributed like your foot is a tripod. Okay, now let's put them together. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, and exhale, lift. Okay, we're going to move into that deep primal squat. And we are done with that circuit. We will have 30 seconds to transition and get our weights ready for the next circuit, which will all be upper body. Okay, grab your middle or lighter weights for this next one. We're going to be starting with a dumbbell row. Really focusing on your back, your lats, your upper back, your rhomboids, your traps, into your recti spinae, your rear delts. Okay, hinge at the hips. Keep a slight engagement in your core. You're going to inhale and exhale as you pull your upper arms up. Think about pulling with your elbows, like you're leading with your elbows. Your upper arms will come up to about parallel with your torso. Okay, 3 seconds. So we're going to move into an overhead press. So you don't want your arms to be so wide that you can't see your elbows out of your peripheral vision. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you press them overhead. Make sure that you don't have any arching in your back or flaring, thrusting forward of your rib cage. This would indicate that it may be the weight's too heavy and you need to go down, or maybe you're lacking some shoulder mobility and maybe you need to do one arm at a time and maybe even in a kneeling position. Okay, now we're just moving into a bicep curl. So you can just alternate If you feel that the weight that you have is not heavy enough, do both arms at the same time. Okay, exhale as you curl the weight up, inhale as you lower.
3, 2, 1, work.
Okay, now you're going to hinge at the hips, slight engagement in your core, arms at 90 degrees. Your shoulder blades should be squeezing together in the back, and you are just going to reach overhead. Make sure you don't shrug your shoulders, but you're keeping your shoulder blades down and back.
3, 2, 1, work.
Okay, and now we're back to the rows. So exhale, inhale as you lower. Ten seconds.
3, 2, 1, work.
Okay, back to that overhead press. Exhale as you're lifting up, inhale as you're lowering. 8 seconds to go.
3, 2, 1, work.
And bicep curl. Just starting in a neutral grip and then supinating, bringing your palm up. 10 seconds.
3, 2, 1, work.
Okay, let's bring it back to those 90-degree elbows, squeezing your shoulder blades, bring it overhead and then pulling down. This mobility exercise is great for posture.
2, 1, rest seat.
Okay, you have 30 seconds to transition to the next exercise. Get the heavy weights. We're going to be doing reverse lunges. All right, so get the weights and get towards the top of your mat.
2, 1, work.
Inhale as you step back, exhale as you come up. We're not taking a super wide stance here. Trying to keep it a little more quad focused with an upright torso. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. And 3 seconds to go, and you'll place the weight down. And I'll take that same foot back. You're gonna bend and then you're gonna straighten it as you hinge over that front leg. So make sure that that front leg, in my case it's my left, make sure that left hip, that you are pushing that hip back. Don't let it shift forward. So you should really be feeling this in your glute on the left side. Now pick the weights up and go straight into that other side. So you're going to take that opposite leg back for that reverse lunge. Make sure your ribs stay stacked over your pelvis. And that arch in the front foot stays active and your weight is distributed from heel to big toe to little toe. Okay, place the weights down. We're going to do the same thing. You're going to bend and hinge. So you lunge down and then hinge over that front leg as you straighten the back leg. So inhale and exhale, engage your core. If your hands are near your pelvic bones, you should feel the core engagement as you exhale and hinge over that front leg. Now go ahead and grab the weights back to the other side. So bring that right foot back and then bringing it up to meet your front foot. Okay, drop the weights, take it back, bring that back knee to the ground, and then straighten the leg, hinging over the front leg, pushing that working hip back. And make sure it does not come forward in front of the right hip. Okay, now switch sides. And that left foot goes back. Six seconds. And place the weights down. Let's go into that lunge and hinge. So lunge and then hinge. Lunge, straighten that back leg. And 3 seconds. Then we'll have 30 seconds before we transition to the next circuit, which will be upper body. So grab that lighter set of dumbbells. And you're going to come down to the mat. Okay, get your weights and lie down. We're going to start with a pec fly. So arms up over your chest. Your elbows should be slightly bent. You're just going to lower them towards the ground and then exhale as you lift them back up over your chest. So inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Make sure your back is not arching off the ground. And 3 seconds to go. Okay, now we're going to do nose breakers. So you're just going to bend the elbow in a very controlled manner, bring the weights towards your face, and then exhale, lift them back straight, squeezing your triceps. Seven more seconds here. Okay, come up to a kneeling position and take that weight. You definitely need a light one here, and you're just going to lift it up over your head. So while this does work, your anterior deltoids, that is not why we are doing this. We are focusing on your low traps here. So really think about your shoulder blades moving in and down. Okay, now lie down on your belly. We're going to do some high Ys. So your arms in a Y position, you're going to lift them up. There again, think about your shoulder blades coming in and down. So like they're gliding in and down. This is great for your rotator cuff, your low trap, and your delts. Okay, grab your weights and move back to that pec fly. So we inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Halfway there. Okay, now keeping your upper arms, keep them still. All you're doing is bending at the elbow and bringing that weight towards your face in a very controlled manner, and then exhaling as you straighten your arms and squeeze the back of your arms. Okay, come up to kneeling and grab one weight. Inhale, exhale as you lift the weight overhead, making sure your core is engaged. You should not have any arching in your back. And then come back down to that prone position, arms in a Y. And you squeeze as you lift them off the ground and lower. This is so good for working all those muscles that help mitigate that forward shoulder posture. And 2 seconds. And rest. We have 30 seconds before we move into our last circuit. I'm in a puppy pose here because it feels good. Okay, grab a heavy weight, just one, and you're gonna come down on your back, feet flat, knees bent. I'm going to do a weighted bridge. So place it on your hips, and you're going to exhale as you squeeze your glutes and lift. Inhale and lower. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lower. Five seconds, we'll be flipping over to our stomachs. All right, flip it over. Heels together, knees out. You're gonna squeeze your glutes as you lift your heels to the ceiling, like you're trying to touch the ceiling. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lower. Okay, staying on your stomach, bring your hands behind your head, bring them out to a Y, circle them around so that the top of your hands touch your back, and then you're just going to reverse it. And 3 seconds, you will flip over on your back. So right here, flip over, and then you're going to set up and roll down. So slowly roll down. So this is option 1, to roll down and then slowly roll back up. Option 2 is to roll down, and you can put your hands behind your head or across your chest, and then come sit up, bringing your heels in. And then the next time through, I'll show you a more advanced version. So get that heavy weight again, moving back into those bridges. If you feel this too much in your hamstrings, that may mean that your feet are too far out and you need to scoot them closer to your glutes. You feel it in your quads, they may be too far in, and you may need to scoot them out a little farther from your glutes. Okay, take that weight down, flip over, heels together, and squeeze your glutes and press up towards the ceiling. You can feel around, make sure that you feel your glutes engaged. Okay, straighten your legs, bring your arms behind your head to a Y, circle them around, touch the back of your hands, and then reverse it. Eight seconds. Then we'll go back to that core exercise. Remember, you can roll down and roll up. You can do the sit up, or you can come to a hollow, roll down, and V up. So I'm rolling down to a hollow and then snapping up into a V. Core should be braced. Exhale as you V up. And rest. We're going to go through a bit of a cool down. And start at a down dog. Bring that right hand to the left ankle and then switch it out. Okay, squat back, almost like a child's pose, but your knees are hovering. And then come forward into a plank and back into a down dog. You're going to drop your glutes again, shoot forward into a plank, and then drop your knees. Let's bring that right foot forward into a pigeon pose. So your shin should be as close to parallel as you can get it. You're going to lower down, but do so as slowly as you can. Just really feel your glutes work as you slowly lower. And once you get to the bottom, just rest your head on your hands. We're going to sit here for a few breaths. Okay, come up. The option to grab that back foot. You're getting a little bit more of your quad and hip flexor stretch. And then circle that foot all the way around and bring your left knee on top of your right knee. Just stack it and then fold over. Okay, now let's do a seated forward fold. So back straight, hinge over. You can belly button to thighs first. We'll hold here for a few breaths. As you're inhaling into your back and sides, really feeling that rib expansion. Bring your hands behind you, clasp them together. Feel that in your chest, the front of your shoulders. And let's do a right tricep stretch. Bringing it up and over, using your left hand to pull that right elbow, and then switch sides. Okay, let's do the other side. Left shin in front of you as close to parallel as you can get it. Make sure your right hip is not open but close to the ground. You're gonna slowly, slowly lower, as slow as you can. And then when you get to the bottom, just rest your head. Okay, bring it up. Option to grab that back foot and pull it in. Pulling that foot, pushing it closer to your glutes. Now let it go and swing that leg around, stacking your right knee on top of your left knee, and then just folding over. Okay, come back up. I'm going to be in this kind of funky straddle. Knees are going to be bent. See if you can hinge over with a flat back and hold it. This should feel like stretch, but also a little bit of work. Okay, bring it up. You can do that again, or you can open up into a straddle. Here you're going to, once again, just hinge over and hold. And then you can stretch it out. Just relax. You can take your hands to support you. You can have a pillow. The option to deepen your straddle and walk it back out. Okay, bring it back up, bottoms of your feet together. Clasp your hands, lift them up overhead, and now press them out in front of you, really trying to separate those shoulder blades. And then lift them back up overhead, and then back out in front. And then squeeze your shoulder blades together, arms extended, and then push away. And that's it.